Hello everyone. I welcome you to this online lecture series. Today our topic is planning of residential buildings. The contents of today's presentation are introduction, classification of residential buildings, building bylaws, building line and control line, functional requirements of a building, and we are having one drawing exercise. A residential building is one which is used wholly or partly for a considerable time or permanently for human habitation. It includes various types of houses, hostel buildings, hotels, motels, lodges, etc. A residence is mainly divided into three areas for planning: the living area, the sleeping area, and the service area. The living area of the house is that where the family meets friends, relaxes, and entertains. The sleeping area is designed for sleeping or resting. That part of residence where the service functions such as kitchen, storage, garage, etc. are performed. These areas are subdivided into subdivisions called as rooms. The designer and planner of a residential building must follow the basic rule of design, and that is form follows the function. However, planning and designing of the building is totally depend on the number of rooms, family size, funds available, and the living standards of the occupants. Now we'll see the classification of residential buildings. The residential buildings are mainly divided into four categories. First is detached house, for example, a bungalow, residential bungalow. Second is semi-detached house, means a two or twin detached house or twin bungalows. Third is the row houses, and fourth is the apartments. Now we'll go one by one. Detached house, a building whose walls or roofs are independent of any other building with open space on all the sides, is called as a detached house. And the example of the detached house is, you can see in the image, a residential bungalow is an example of detached house. This type of construction of dwelling houses is very popular in India, but this is possessed by higher or middle income group of families, as everyone cannot afford to have a bungalow. So this is possessed by the higher income group families. Second type of residential building is semi-detached house. The two or twin detached house connected with one common wall is called as semi-detached house, which is shown in the picture. These houses have open space on three sides. So in the image you can see that the one wall is common for the two houses. This type of house is called as a semi-detached house or twin bungalow. Third type of the residential building is row houses. You people are quite familiar with this. Detached houses are constructed in one row with one common wall between two houses are called as the row houses. You can see in the image, these type of houses are very common in India, and the example of the row houses are staff quarters in public sectors or industries, etc. Please note that one wall is common in every two houses in the row houses. Okay, so there is a difference between semi-detached house and a row house. The row house is the number of houses in a row house are greater than two or more. So it's a type of a residential building. The last type of the residential building is called as apartment, or we can also call it as ownership flats. This is a sort of row houses with a common services like water closets, bath, staircase, lifts, and passages, etc. For example, hotels, dormitories, and the ownership flat, of course. An ownership flat is one where the number of families live together in their independent flats. So, the site selection plays a very important role in case of the apartments. Generally, builder provided shopping center, park, garden, swimming tanks, recreational facilities, parking facilities within a area of apartments. So till now we have seen what is mean by residential building and what are the different types of the residential buildings. There are 4 types of residential building: detached, semi-detached, row house, and apartment. Okay, now we'll move forward towards the building bylaws. Now a building bylaw is the local law framed by competent authority. So every locality has its own peculiarities with respect to the climatic conditions, geological conditions, that is availability of materials for the construction, labor, etc. If a building is built in a definite planned way, the construction becomes economically sound and safe. As such, there must be a law or regulation on a part of owner while building his own house. Okay. So when India got the independence, population of India was about 300 millions. And as per 2011 census, that is the current census, it has crossed 1000 millions. The bigger cities like Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata, Chennai have become metros, and the smaller cities like Bangalore, Hyderabad, Pune, Ahmedabad are on the verge of becoming metros. And the other cities are gaining status of municipal corporation. Before independence, it was said that the India is a country of villages. And now the scenario has changed. In early years of independence, people started to migrate towards bigger cities for education, jobs, and better living conditions. Due to this spurt of movement, the cities were overburdened with the population, and there was a big fillip in the construction industry to accommodate all the migrants. As a result, the cities grown haphazardly, and there was a big chaos. In order to control this haphazard growth, building bylaws came into existence. So how this building bylaws came into existence, that we have seen. Now these building bylaws differs from place to place. For example, the building bylaws for Ahmednagar city will not be as same as that of the Mumbai, or it is different from Pune or any taluka place having municipality or village having gram panchayat. Hence, in order to control control the growth of the cities or towns, these laws are introduced. There are some objectives of the building bylaws. First objective is to give the guidelines to the designer, architect, or engineer. Second objective is to prevent the haphazard development, to control the land development, and to check unauthorized construction, that is encroachment on public and private land, to specify the type of materials to be used to provide open spaces, air, breeze, etc. Apart from all these objectives, there are some other objectives also, such as to reduce the pollution in the area by restricting the population density in that area, thereby providing hygienic environment, and to ensure that every citizen will safe against the fire, pollution, health hazard, and the building failure. So these are the objectives of building bylaws. Now, there are some terms which are frequently used in the as far as the building regulations are concerned, and that are 2 types of lines: building line and a control line. So building line refers to the front line up to which a building can lawfully extend. It is also called as a setback or a front building line. Now many people confuse between the building line and a control line. So the building line is the line up to which the plinth of a building adjoining from the center of the street or an extension of a street in future may lawfully extend. So it is called as a setback or front building line. Please note that this line starts from the plinth of a building and adjoining from the center of the street or the extension of the street in the future. So this is the building line, whereas control line in public buildings such as cinema halls, factories, commercial buildings which are generally overcrowded, attracts large number of vehicles, should be set back a further distance apart from the building line. The line up to which such buildings are constructed are known as a control line. Generally, these control lines are from the center of joining the street or road, may be about 1.5 times that of the building line. This is very, very important. The control lines are from the center of joining the street or road, may about 1.5 times the building line, which means control lines, the distance of the control lines are always greater than that of in case of the building line. Okay. So in the image it may get clear that the building lines and control lines in case of a residential building, the line joining the plinth and the middle of the street is a building line, whereas the line joining the plinth of the cinema hall or factories with the middle of the street or the center of the street is the control line, which is approximately 1.5 times that of the building lines. Okay. Now these building lines and control lines are different, and these are dependent on the type of road. If the road is national or state highway, then the building line is 30 meters, control line is 45 meters. For major district roads, the building line is 15 meters and the control line is of 24 meters. For other district roads, it is 9 meters and 15 meters, and for village road, building line is of 9 meter and control line is of 15 meters. Now the another criteria is related to the height of the building. The height of building is governed by the width of the road which is in front of the building or the minimum width of the rear space. In city areas, the construction is allowed on fall areas without provision of margins on any side. In such cases, it becomes necessary to check that the height of one building does not obstruct the ventilation of the property on the other side of the road. For this, a light plane is marked at a suitable angle from the edge or road on other side, and the height of building is suitably curtailed off to allow the light plant to pass so as not to make the adjacent property lack from the natural ventilation. So these tall buildings impair the value of small neighboring houses by cutting off the sunshine, air, breeze, etc., and thus make the small houses unsuitable for inhabitation. So because of tall buildings, these small houses nearby it will not get the natural ventilation and enough sunshine or air or breeze. So it is required to control the height of these skyscrapers or the tall buildings. They make the street narrow and increase the congestion of traffic and affect the air and light, etc. Hence, the height of buildings, especially high-rise buildings or skyscrapers, must be controlled. The height of building is suitably curtailed off to allow the light plane to pass as shown in this image. The angle of light plane is 45 degree or 63.5 degrees. So there are two rules, 45 degrees rule and 63.5 degree rules. So in the left side image you can see the angle of plane is 45 degrees, whereas in second image it is 63.5 degrees. The 63.5 degrees is very common. The setback becomes necessary when the total height of the building exceeds twice the road width. Normally the following normally there are the criterias of maximum height of the building. The maximum height of building shall not exceed 1.5 times the width of the road abutting plus the front open space. If a building abuts on two or more streets of different widths, the building shall be deemed to face upon the street that has the greater width. Now there are some front space requirement also. At the time of lecture we have seen the setback distance and the front side distance. So the same we are going to see in this front space requirements. This front space requirement is depending on the width of the street fronting that plot. So if the width of the street is up to 7.5 meters, then the front open space minimum in meters should be 1.5 meters. For 7.5 to 18 meters width of street, the front open space will be minimum 3 meters shall be provided. For 18 to 30 meters width of street, the front open space shall be provided as 4.5 meters. And if the width of street is above 30 meters, then minimum 6 meter of the front open space should be provided. Remember that for building this is the criteria for building up to a maximum height of 7 meters. Now similarly there are the requirement or the criteria for side and rear open spaces for different heights of the residential building. So it is depending upon the height of the building. For 10 meters it is the side and rear open spaces to be left around the building is 3 meters. For 15 it is 5. For 18 it is 6. For 21 it is 7. For 24 it is 8 meters. For 27 meters of height it is 9 meters. For 30 it is 10. For 35 it is 11. For 40 meters it is 12. 45 it is 13. For 50 meter height of building it is 14 meters, and 55 and above it is 16 meters. Please note that for buildings about 24 meter in height there shall be a minimum front open space of 6 meter. Okay, so these are the criteria for side and rear space requirement. Now there are some other criteria which are used for the height of plinth and the parapet wall. So the height of plinth shall not be less than 450 mm from the surrounding ground level. A height of 600 mm is the best from drainage or other considerations. The height of the parapet wall is also given. It shall not be less than 1 meter and not exceeds 1.2 meters. Now what will happen if the plinth height will be less than 450 meter? So if the plinth height is less than 450 mm, then there will be a dampness in the building, and to reduce or to avoid this dampness there is the criteria of minimum 450 mm of plinth height. The room now there are some functional requirements for the residential buildings such as room sizes. So we'll see it one by one. For drawing room, the high income group has a size of 5 by 4.2 to 7.2 by 5.5. For middle income group it is 4.2 by 3.6 to 4.5 by 4 meters. For lower income group it is 3.5 by 3 meters, and as per Indian standards the minimum area for drawing room is 9.5 square meter. For dining room it is 4 by 3.5 to 5 by 4 meters for high income group. For middle income group it is 3.5 by 3.1 to 7 by 3.1 if the drawing plus dining is there. For lower income group it is 3 by 2.8. As per Indian standard the minimum area required for the dining room is 7.5 square meter. Similarly for bedroom, 4.8 by 4.2 for higher income group, 4.6 by 3.6 for middle income group, and 3.5 by 3 for lower income group. As per Indian standards, the minimum area for bedroom to be provided is 9.5 square meter. For office room, 4 meter by 3.6 for higher income group, middle income group it is 3.5 by 3. There is no specification for lower income group, and Indian standard does not give any specification for office room. Similarly for guest room, for higher income group it is 4 by 3.6, for middle income group it is 3.5 by 3, and there is no specification for lower income group, and Indian standard has not given any specification for the guest room. Storeroom, for higher income group it should be minimum of 3 by 3 meter, for middle income group it is 3 by 2.8 meter, for lower income group it should be 2.225 by 1.5 meters, and as per Indian standard minimum area required for the storeroom is 3 square meter. For kitchen, for higher income group it is 3.5 by 3, for middle income group it is 2 by 2.5, for lower income group it is 2.5 by 2.2, and as per Indian standard the minimum area required for the kitchen is 4.5 square meter, and if the kitchen and dining are combined it should be 5 square meter at least. For pantry, higher income group should have 3 by 2.5. There is no any specification for middle income group, lower income group, and Indian standard specification. For dressing room, in the higher income group shall have 3.5 by 3, for middle income group it should have a size of 3 by 2.5, and there is no specification for lower income group and any minimum of the Indian standard specification. For combined pantry and dressing, for higher income group it should have a size of 3.5 by 2.5, for middle income group it should have a size of 3 by 2.5. There is no specification for lower income group and minimum as per Indian standard. For bathroom, if it is separate, the minimum size for higher income group it should be 3 by 2 meters, for middle income group it should be 2 by 1.5 meters, for lower income group it should be 1.5 by 1.2 meters, and as per Indian standards the minimum size for the bathroom is 1 by 1.2 meters. Similarly for water closets, if it is provided separately, for higher income groups it should have a size of 2.5 by 2, middle income group it should have a size of 1.8 by 1.2, for lower income group it should have a size of 1.1 by 1, and as per Indian standards the minimum size for water closet should be 0.9 by 1. Now we will solve one drawing exercise. We have seen what is mean by or how we can differentiate a residential building from a public building. Now we'll see the one drawing exercise. There is a problem given in the image, and picture shows a line plan of a small residential building, and they have asked us to draw a scale of 1:50 the following views: developed plan and elevation on the basis of given data. So data they have given is plinth height is 600 mm, height of bottom of slab from floor is 3100 mm, thickness of slab is 150 mm, assume the chhajja projection as 750 mm, and superstructure burnt brick masonry with walls 300 thick and internal walls both bath and WC 100 mm thick. So basically what they have given is plinth height, they have given 600 mm. In earlier slides we have seen that minimum plinth height should be of 450 mm. Here they have provided 600 mm. The height of bottom of slab from floor, which means they have given floor to floor height of 3.1 meter. Thickness of slab they have given 150 mm, and the internal partition walls and external walls are throughout 300 mm thick, and WC and bath walls are 100 mm thick. Okay, so what we have to do is first we have to recall the concept of architectural drawings. So as far as architectural drawings are concerned, we have to draw plan, elevation and section of this line plan. So basically we have to develop this plan. To develop the plan means what we have to do is you must locate the windows, ventilators, doors and openings in this plan, and you need to draw in a scale of 1:50, and then you have to make the walls as 300 mm thick for internal walls, and bathroom and WC walls as 100 mm thick. So that is what we want to do is first we will see the plan or developed plan of this structure. Here you can see the dimensions given in the line plan was rough dimensions, but when we'll draw these plan in a scale, then we will come to know that the dimensions you need to first you need to convert in a scale. So here the scale is given as 1:50, which means 1 meter on the ground represents 2 centimeter on the paper. So if I would like to give one suggestion, whenever you will draw the plan, first make sure that how much space you have on your sheet or on your paper. Accordingly you select the scale, and then start with any one corner. Suppose if you start with the bottom corner of the left hand side, then you have to first start with the bedroom, the corner of the bedroom, and take the dimensions from the line plan. It is 4 by 3.3 meter in the line plan. So you can start drawing. Please remember that the dimensions which are given in the line plan should get matched exactly in the developed plan as end-to-end dimensions, which means excluding the thickness of the wall. So when we draw this plan to a scale of 1:50, then what we have to do is first locate the windows. So accordingly, as per the requirement of the room, you can locate the windows and doors and draw the symbols of doors and windows in that developed plan. After that, what we have to do is, which is not there in this image, you have to make or you have to write a schedule of openings in this plan. So what is mean by schedule of openings is, or what they are expecting from us is, first you have to draw the serial number. You have to make a table. The first column will be serial number, then the second column will be of the symbol, which means, for example, D for door, W for window, V for ventilator, O for opening, etc. Then the quantity of that symbol or that openings. Suppose you have 4 types of doors of the same size, then the quantity will be 4. Similarly, then after that you have to write in the last column as a specification of that window or door. Suppose, for example, you have to write the specification of window, say. So you should write there 2-track aluminum powder coated sliding windows. If you want to write the specification of the door, then you have to write the single panel door or double lift door or revolving door, whichever type of door you are providing, you need to write on it. And remaining one column is of the size of that door, window or the ventilator. What size you are going to provide, that you need to write there. So this was about the plan. Then this is the elevation. In the plan you can see elevation means the front elevation. So in the front we can see there is one window and 3 to 4 steps are there. So you are seeing here one window, one door and a plinth of course. So elevation is somewhat easy as compared to the other 2 drawings. And this is the section of this drawing. First you have to mark the section line on the plan. Here we have marked A section line, and draw the arrow in the direction which are going we are going to see, so that the you will it is get the simple to imagine how it looks in the section. Okay, so I'll start with the bottom to top. So you can see over here, from the bottom there is a wall cut over here, then after that some space, then the part of the WC, then because we are seeing on the right side there is a ventilator shown over here, then dado to the height up to 1 meter, then after that a toilet, a bathroom is shown there, the ventilator we can see over there, dado, and another room. Please remember that you have to show the enlarged view or the section of the footing, and you make sure that you are showing the correct courses where in the plinth level. They have shown here from boulder course, screen concrete course, sand bed, coping, and the topmost layer is of tile flooring. Okay, so this was about the today's presentation. I hope everyone of you have understood today's topic. If you face any difficulty or problem, you can contact me or drop a message to me. In the next lecture, we are going to have a presentation related to the planning of the public building. Till then, thank you very much.